All right, welcome back. We're going to continue our episode and close out with the bullet points of news leading into this World Cup. We touched on them slightly throughout the episode, but talking a little bit more about the injuries that might have some implications moving forward for national teams as we're just 6 days out from the World Cup. Obviously, Australia and France. A big one for France, unfortunately, was Osama Baka stretchered off actually in this game. It was tough scenes to see. I was watching it in real time. I was one of those, weirdos up early in the morning trying to take a look at
Just
that.
preparing for the next month, but that's it.
Yeah, we're also conditioning, right? The bodies and the minds and the brains, right? But watching how this happens and the timing in which it happens is so heartbreaking. Um, I'm hopeful that it's just a very aggravated ankle tweak, because on the replay you could see her ankle kind of bends in a way that you don't like to have happen as a pro athlete. And the severity of the moment and the environment, obviously you're literally in the host country for the World Cup. Of course a player is going to feel all of those emotions, and so she did not look as if this was something that was minimal, but you never know until you know, and hopefully it is just a minor issue, maybe a minor sprain or tweak and just some swelling. But I'm sure there will eventually be an update on that. But it was absolutely devastating scenes at the time. I mean, on the other side of the pitch, you had her Lyon teammate and Ellie Carpenter. You could see just gutted, just did not want to see that happen for her club teammates. And you have to wonder for Vaca going into this World Cup, and for France has been such a crucial key component for this national team.
It's devastating. Like, watching that it hurts my heart to watch all of these injuries and all of the players happening. There was also a closed door friendly between Ireland and Colombia that took place down under. That happened early this morning, late last night. The time changes still get me, but I don't know what I'm doing. It happened early this morning. And of course, behind closed doors, so there hasn't been that much reporting. I'm sure as the day goes on today, there'll continue to be more and more news that comes out about what happened. But apparently after 20 minutes, the game was canceled due to physicality, due to roughness that was happening. A couple yellow cards in the first 10 minutes of this game. Unfortunately, Denise O'Sullivan received a knock on her shin. She was taken to the hospital for evaluation. It's all very precautionary. Hoping for positive news come tomorrow, right? That's kind of when we'll see and hear news cycles. But thinking about Denise O'Sullivan, of course, and Selma with France. But it's sad to see that these friendlies that are happening right the week of the World Cup, and injuries that happen. I mean, it's such this fine line to walk, because nations want to get one last run in, right? We saw the U.S. do it with Wales. It's a send-off series. It's a chance to rally your country around this team. It's also an opportunity for the team to get some cohesiveness and reps together, because they probably haven't seen too much time together against other competition as well. It's an opportunity, but you always risk injury. You always risk getting hurt, and that's what you don't want to see in these moments. So fingers crossed. There's a couple more friendlies to roll out. I think today and tomorrow there's another one across a couple of these different nations. So keep an eye on them and injuries that come out of them, and precautionary. And it's tough. So after the Colombia-Ireland match was canceled after 20 minutes, the Irish side has been reported that the Irish side did stay back. They had a full training, and they still look to get reps in those moments as they're headed into their first cups, debutantes right there.
That's the other difficult part of this too, is that this is still build up. It's still preparation time for that group stage. And I think that's part of it. That's part of what makes these injuries feel so heightened in terms of the impact that they could possibly have on a team moving forward, because they're just so close to kickoff. We keep talking about 6 days, and you hate to hear that, or see the reporting of it, for Ireland, because Denise O'Sullivan, again, similar to Boxa for France, one of those starters for Ireland. Let's not get it twisted here. This is not just like a really good player. This is a player who starts for Ireland. This is a player who is part of a historic run here for this Ireland side. So hopefully it is not something that is significant, but I understand folks and their worry when it is a player that needs to go to the hospital. So uh, of course we're gonna hope for the best, and if there is an additional update, of course we'll be here to
Always.
report on it. But this is what's so tough about it. It's literally preparation games. I think these players are so amped
Yeah.
to start up the World Cup that we are still seeing some of these very devastating injuries kind of take place so close to the tournament. And for the United States side of things, we should absolutely touch on that before we close out. They're also in their final preparation and build up to their group stage. It's going to kick off on July 21st against Vietnam. They're taking this very seriously too, even though we don't have a game outside of Wales to talk about recently. But they got into New Zealand and they said, let's make this place like home for
Yeah.
us.
They exactly did. A lot of reporting from Jeff Kassouf out of the Equalizer. Great job by him. There's a lot of cool outlets for people to follow over the next month. Do it. They've got great content, and it's not just this month. But Jeff Kassouf reporting that the U.S. got to their training camp in Auckland, New Zealand, and they wanted to make it their own. They wanted to have it feel more like home, and that's what we've heard out of the U.S. Soccer Federation is why the United States has been able to be successful, because whatever they do on U.S. soil, whatever they do at home when they're training in their top-notch facilities, they try to replicate that when they're on the road. And being at the World Cup, that's even elevated more so than any other. They ended up building a second field at the United States training camp. They rented different trailers and modulars to have meeting rooms and an on-site gym for the Americans. So they really could have everything top tier that they wanted to have. The U.S. Soccer doing what they always try to do and creating this home away from home for them. But this time it's a bit more elevated than before. There's a lot of fun stuff coming out of it. We will be on top of it here at Attacking Third. On Golazo Network, Sandra and I, whatever it may be, we'll be here talking about it all, because 6 days, bud. 6 days.
We're so close. Can't wait. A real safe way for folks to, I think, prepare for the World Cup is to make sure that they stay tuned into any gaming as well. Like, look, you can play some games if you want to pass the time for the World Cup. EA Sports announced that for the first time ever, both male and female players will be usable in the Ultimate Team in the brand new EA FC 24 game. The game is going to feature already retired players as icons and heroes, just like Mia Hamm. So you can play as her as well. So make sure you crank up the gaming. Help pass the time in safe ways where you're not going to get injured.
You can be Mia Hamm. You can play Mia Hamm on your team in this new EA Sports game. I mean, like, that's fantastic for FIFA. I love that.
That's what we're about. Let's keep it locked in. Let's keep the energy good, but let's all get there in one piece. Whether you're watching Australia, New Zealand stateside, or if you're one of the lucky ones who are going to go ahead and get there in the Southern Hemisphere and take it in person, enjoy. Or if you're going to make sure that you're tuned in to all things World Cup, that means you have to watch Attacking Third on Golazo Network Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You got to tune on in to make sure you're caught up with all things women's soccer, women's World Cup, and more. Thank you all so much